Let's sit. Just a little bit. A bit. We can't. We must keep going. But just a minute. Masha begged in anguish. Fine. She lowered her head onto my shoulder. The flashlight was blinking more and more often, so I decided to turn it off for now, to save the battery. This is it. Yeah, probably. When you turn it back on, there is some monster standing. Yeah? No? I don't know how much time passed. Or maybe they're back in their world now. I desperately wanted to sleep. My eyes were closing by themselves. How did we first meet? That was so long way ago. Do you remember? I asked in a whisper. What? Masha's voice was trembling. Are we met? Yes. She tried to laugh, but immediately began to cough. I will sleep for a while, okay? Just for a while, or you will sleep through the whole day again. Well, but you will wake me up. Of course. I kissed her and closed my eyes. Oblivion was getting closer, but I didn't care. I was transported back in time to that very day. That doesn't sound like the first day you met, it's just sounding like trouble, just saying. My whole body was aching. Perhaps my brain couldn't rest peacefully because it was distracted by thousands of signals from my nerve endings. Somehow I rose up and woke up Masha. After all, we were planning to survive. How long have I been in this mine? Fork after fork, tunnel after tunnel. Masha was whispering something all the time. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. It seems that I won't be able to handle even one more turn. But suddenly the flashlight highlighted a tight passage in the darkness, and soon we found ourselves in an open chamber. Look! Masha was pointing somewhere into the darkness. I flashed the light there and saw a neckerchief lying around. Oh, right! We did not see Shurik! Oh, God! I'm so stupid. Right, the mine thing is Shurik. And we have not yet met Shurik. That has to happen, I guess. I mean, it would at least make sense. It happened every route. And it probably has some meaning I did not get yet. This is not... No, let's go. Ah, here we are. At least we got out of the labyrinth and found ourselves in a small room. There were broken bottles all over the floor, pipes stretched along the walls, and at the end of them were rusted valves. A mess of graffiti was scrawled all over the walls. At least it's a change of scenery. I think it's the same stuff on the walls as always, though. I sighed. The flashlight had almost died, and I had to shake it up every 10 seconds to slightly recover the battery. Exhausted, Masha dropped to the floor. We can't stop. I'm sure there is the exit somewhere here. How do you know? I looked at her. She obviously... Oh, or maybe they are just experiencing the same. But I think I said that in the beginning. Maybe they're going crazy like Shurik now. Maybe they have the same thing happening to them as Shurik. I made so many speculations, I already forgot what myself, said. How do I expect people to keep up with my theories if I can't even remember them myself? Well, she obviously had no energy anymore. Masha was struggling with her exhaustion and could lose consciousness in any second. I just know it. I smiled, trying to look encouraging. Well, if so... She leaned against the wall and stood up partly. Sit here for now. I will see what is further on. I'm afraid. Masha trembled. I'm not going far. She raised her eyes to me, full of hope, and nodded almost imperceptibly. I looked around and noticed a heavy iron door. Oh, they are getting into this bunker now. My attempts to open it came to nothing. It was completely rusted shut. I wish that pipe was here now. There was no other choice. I braced my leg on the wall and threw all my weight against the handle. My muscles bulged, my forehead was awash with sweat, my vision darkened. But the door didn't budge, just gave off a hollow rattle. It's still a bunker, idiot. It's alright, wait a second. Oh, I shouted over to Masha, gasping for breath. I need to find some kind of stick. I ran over to Masha, bent down and smiled. There's definitely an exit behind this door. She looked at me wearily. I ran out of the room and began to scour the mine in search of something suitable. Flashlight was about to die. Having blinked its last, it finally went out. I panicked and began to blunder around, trying to find the way back. However, I kept running into walls, and I couldn't remember at all how I got here. That is stupid. Masha? Masha, but also understandable. In this situation, I can understand why you already don't give a shit about stuff like that anymore. I screamed, hoping that she would hear me. Suddenly, a sound came out from behind me. A light appeared, and my shadow appeared on the ground, stretching far off into the darkness. That's Lena. I say it was Lena. I was rooted to the spot by fear. I heard a seemingly familiar voice. What's wrong, Semyon? Got lost? Oh, hi there, crazy-ass Lena. I slowly turned around and saw Lena holding a flaming torch in her hand. Her face was disfigured by an inhuman grin. I've come for you. This was the same Lena that I saw at the square last evening. The same as in Olga's cabin. That was Lena, and at the same time not Lena. This creature was more like those Ulyanas. I am coming for you. You, who are you? I squeezed out. It's Lena. Don't you recognize me? Oh, that also makes sense, because Shurik's, when they told Shurik, it's me, XYZ. He was like, no, you're not fucking with me. So this is the same, so this is, all this stuff always happened to Shurik. I see how that is. She burst into devilish laughter. You completely forgot about me while having fun with them. Words stuck in my throat. It's alright. There's nobody left now. Just the two of us. So you did everything. Bingo. Not everything, of course. For a second her face became guilty, but then she grinned again. Slavia was first. She was always so annoying. She was Mrs. Reliability. Diligent, hardworking, always everywhere, agreeing with everyone. Yuck. Boy, did she scream when I was tearing off her arms, huh? It's a pity you didn't get to see it all. But how did you make the Ulyana zombies? I mean, I can see you murdering people, but the zombie thing is still strange. Her mouth began to tremble. Her saliva dripped out of it, and her eyes rolled up. And then Elisa. Everybody's annoying me. I don't need anyone. Now she's hanging peacefully alone on a tree. However, it wasn't easy to lift her up there, but it had a much greater effect. Oh, you all screamed, huh? Like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Lena's face was twisted by a grin of sick pleasure. Alright, just that bitch Mika left to deal with, and then it's over. Huh, she didn't mention Ulyana. And all the others, what happened to them? Oh! She produced a giant cleaver covered with blood from behind her back. Well, actually, it seemed to me that she was lost in thought. I don't know what the crap in the form of Ulyana was. Her and the other pioneers weren't killed by me. But does it really matter now? Not really that much, to be honest. She shook the torch and it flared out in a second. Wait here. I will be quick. A devilish laughter came from behind me. That means she went after Masha. I must do something quickly. But I have absolutely no idea where to run. The darkness completely disoriented me. Screw it. I ran the way I assumed Lena went. After only a short way, I painfully smashed into a wall. I turned around, trying to move slowly, but I stumbled over another obstacle, fell down and screamed in pain. Trying to rise, I realized that I couldn't put any weight on my left leg. Seems like I twisted it. You know what is kind of sad about this situation? I mean, I like that Lena is going crazy and all that stuff. But on the one hand, it's so obvious again. It was so obvious again. I would have loved it if I would have hit my head with my own hand and was screaming, "Oh my god, how did I not see that coming?" But it was so obvious from the beginning, you know? I mean, there was one little point where you could suspect Electronic, and there was one point where you could suspect Miku. But Lena was crazy all the time, you know? But still, I like the way this is going. This is interesting and actually intense and stuff, and I'm taking out the intensity. I tried to crawl, but it worked out badly. The whole mine floor was covered with sharp stones, rusty rails, and broken boards. After only a short way, my arms were torn to bleeding pieces of meat, and my eyes couldn't be opened because of the dust and sand. I fumbled in my pockets and pulled out the matchbox. Oh yeah, you have that. But I don't think that works in mines because there is not enough. Yeah, but there is enough air for a torch, though there is enough air for a match, I guess. I tried to light a match with my shaking hands, but couldn't get them to light. Calm down. Calm down, I muttered. At last, after the 5th try, the mine was lightened by a dim light. I quickly oriented myself and worked out which way I have to run. It seemed to me that only a few seconds passed before I found myself in the room where I had left Masha. The last match went out, but I just had enough time to see Lena raising her cleaver above Masha. I rushed towards them, screaming, and dived forward. My hands suddenly collided with something. I fell to the ground and began smashing everything around me. Most of my punches didn't hit the mark, but then my hands met something soft. I heard a moan, and dead silence set in. I have the feeling he hit Masha, just saying. I rolled onto my back and started breathing heavily and inhaling the dry air greedily. Masha? I called. I heard quiet sobs. Are you still alive? Yes, she whispered. Did she get you? No. I began to fumble in the darkness and soon found the torch and the lighter. Shapeless shadows began to dance on the walls and I saw Lena's body sprawled on the floor. She seemed to be alive. I was going to finish her. Don't! Masha crawled right over to me and grabbed my leg. But we can't just... You don't need to. Of course, Lena wasn't to blame for everything. But she's the devil incarnate. Thank you. There's no way we can let a human like her, if she can still be called a human, alive. There's so many mistakes. It's even strange for me. Why are there so many mistakes? Well, but at least, I mean, they don't have to kill her. But, they have to make her unable to move, you know? You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, though, that Lena... When I think about it, the time Semyon started to sleep, Lena could have killed everybody, you know? She had so many possibilities to kill all of them and have Semyon for herself. That doesn't make much sense. But when I looked at Masha, I realized that I can't. I just can't. Yeah, break her kneecaps or something. The only thing... It's more important that you stay alive and she doesn't follow you. I mean, if you don't want to, don't kill her. She will probably die anyway then in the mines. But you have to make sure that she doesn't follow you. I took up the cleaver from the floor and twisting it in my hands, I decided that it would make a perfect crowbar. Going over to the door, I jammed it into the wheel and pulled on it as hard as I could. The door creaked and opened. Fresh air streamed into the room. We are saved. I returned to Masha, helped her to get up, and we left the room, leaving Lena lying unconscious. Beyond the door there was a short corridor, with a ladder at the end of it, which led up to a grating. I climbed up and pulled on it with all my strength. The grating fell down with a crash, and we climbed out. I fell to the grass, exhausted, and looked around. Again the square. Again this camp. The bright red dawn was breaking in the east, burning the tops of a distant forest. The last stars winked at me, unaware of everything that had happened here in this hell. Masha rested her head on my shoulder and pointed up to the sky with a trembling hand. I wish we were there. Though we got out of the dungeon, nothing is over. Crowds of zombie Ulyanas are wandering through the camp, and insane Lenas lying underneath, and heaven knows how much more devilry we will encounter here. I really want to sleep. I didn't know how to answer her. Because I don't know where to run. Don't know where we can be safe. Don't know how to return to our world. Sleep. I patted Masha's head. Listen, this would make a great script for a film. Yeah, this is really a US B movie. A US horror movie. You know, a US B horror movie. There we go. She laughed out loud. I looked at her in horror. Masha was smiling. But her smile wasn't diabolical, like that one of Lena's. It was pure, honest, maybe even childish. All her exhaustion had gone away, and her eyes were shining with a cheerful spark. What happened to you? I could hardly speak. Everything is fine. She lay down on my shoulder again. That was the last scene. Suddenly, I felt my strength leaving me. My vision darkened, my consciousness began to float away somewhere. I was lying in silence, and only the sound of Masha's breath could be heard. Not the grasshoppers chirping, like all of them had died at last, but only Masha's steady breathing. And her smile. Back in real world or end? Sounds like end. Maybe beach. Okay, maybe we are at the beach, why not? I struggled to open my eyes. Bright moonlight reflected on water, cheerfully skipping on the waves. A light night breeze was blowing, and somewhere far away an owl was hooting. I looked at Masha, who peacefully slept nearby, covered by my shirt. What a dream. Ah, it was all a dream, huh? Lame. Very, very, very lame. Wow. Wow. You cannot be serious. My mobile phone dimly showed the time, 3 a.m. We'd better go to bed, or tomorrow Olga will make us... I had just decided to wake Masha up, but I suddenly noticed an open script and a pen next to her. I quickly went through several pages and was horrified. It was completely identical to what happened in my dream. Bile rose in my throat and my eyes darkened. Masha rolled over, opened her eyes and looked at me. You awake? Aha, so it was not all a dream. I was about to say, that would have been the most lamest twist ever. Did you write this? I asked, thick-tongued. Yes, what's wrong? I didn't know how to answer. I just couldn't understand what was going on. You were sleeping so cutely that I didn't want to wake you up. And the grasshoppers were chirping so loudly, so I... She smiled. Wait, but we are here now. I mean, we're not pioneers. We are filming here, and all that kind of stuff, aren't we? Yes, of course we are. Masha looked at me uncomprehendingly. Maybe I woke up, read what she wrote, and then fell asleep again? You're drenched with sweat. She fumbled in the pockets of the pioneer uniform lying next to her and gave me a handkerchief. A typical Russian handkerchief, embroidered with colorful flowers. I took it and suddenly felt a surge for warmth. The same warmth you feel when someone dear to your heart gives you a present. Shall we go? Masha started getting dressed. Yes, let's go. I barely stood up and went down to the river. Cold water revived me, and that dream stopped seeming so real. After all, it was just a dream, wasn't it? On our way back, Masha held my hand and chatted about everything non-stop. We came to the square. I hope those creatures will let me sleep at least tonight, she said thoughtfully. Who? The grasshoppers. Yes, that would be great. Well, I'll go. She looked at me keenly, turned around and was about to leave. Wait. I grabbed her hand, pulled her towards me and kissed her heart. Why are you kissing people always hard, Semyon? Because sometimes a dream is just a dream, and reality is reality. So, still, I feel like I wasted a lot of time with that. That was an unsatisfying ending. Yeah, what is this? I don't even. Thank you. I feel the same. Ah. I mean, what did we learn through this now? That it is an alternate... I thought... So, what I guess is at least we know now what was going on with Shurik in the mines. This is probably what Shurik in the mines experienced. I guess. That is though all we learned, and I think that is very, very little for all the time I spent playing this. Jesus holy moly. Ugh. Sorry, that was actually not bad. I mean, on a few parts here and there, it wasn't as scary as it could have been. It wasn't very scary at all. A few parts were good. A few parts not so much. But it was good. Not very good, but good. Though, not enough answers. Really, not enough answers. I think there were not enough answers. So, we will probably get now... Yeah. The credits. Okay. Ah. Yeah, as mentioned, I liked it for the most part. There were a few parts, yeah, let me see that panty shot again. Oh, what I dream of. There were not enough answers, I think. For all the time I spent there. And all that in the end, Lena's crazy. Oh, how did Uliana get us to become a zombie? Who cares, really? That was not worth my time. You know? And in the end, I don't know how much of all that will be answered, but still, it's like, I invested so much time already in this game. And I like it, don't get me wrong. One reaches the point where he is unsatisfied with all the time not having answers. I have reached this point right now. I am really pissed that I still don't have any answers to anything. It takes really way too long to get to that point, really. Wow. Yeah, but it was good. Don't let me lie, it was good. It went by the book, you know, by the horror book, if you want, if you want to call it like that. But that doesn't, as mentioned, something being you know, not new doesn't make it bad. So, not bad, not bad. It did a few things wrong, but I all mentioned them while playing it, so I guess I don't have to mention it again. Sometimes it was building tension and it led to nowhere, and then suddenly something happened out of nowhere, and I wasn't even feeling any tension. You know, that is of course not something you want in a horror experience. But all in all, it had a few good. The first time, the one time it really got me was actually quite in the beginning, when Lena was the first time crazy. When her sprite changed her expression to the crazy smile. That one got me. That one really got me. But except for that, everything went kinda by the books. And nothing too surprising, nothing too special. And no answers. So, people, tell me. Now I can play the Yulia ending. Should I play it first? As you see, I am really eager to receive answers. And I really would love to get answers, finally. But if you guys say, I don't know, play the harem ending first. Or if you guys say, play the alternate Elisa ending first, I'll do that. No problem, I'll do everything for you, people, because you people are awesome. But, yeah, but please tell me the reason. If it is, I don't know, if I get from the harem ending information that I need for the real ending or something like that. Because I'm so sorry, but I really first want to get the answers. And then we can do everything else after that. Let me think, this must be now part 45 or something. I played this game now probably for a lot more than 20 hours. A lot more than 20 hours. I have reached the point where I really think I deserve answers. So, but leave your opinions down below. If you say play the harem ending first, because blah blah blah, then I'll do it, no problem. Then I'll do it. But actually I also think the harem ending is something that usually it's something funny, stupid, and this is usually something that is good for the end. So I maybe would keep it for the end. Then do the Yulia ending, then the Elisa alternate ending, and then the harem. And afterwards the Genya DLC, of course. But as mentioned, leave your thoughts about that down below. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.